So I absolutely believe that the city council should be having a role in ending mass incarceration. And that starts with looking at how our laws and policies are reproducing institutionalized racism. And that takes different forms, and there's been some great work on this done already. But it takes different forms, and we can talk about how we can look at education policies and what's happening in our schools and in our early education, where in between 6th and 12th grade, 14% of African American students are being suspended, where that's only 2% for their white peers. And so looking at preventative programs and giving students the resources that they need so that behaviors that are looked at as problematic from school administrators can be addressed in a restorative justice framework. That can also look like laws around zoning and how we are zoning our city and making sure that we're looking at zoning and housing laws through a racial equity lens and addressing the systemic and historical racial discrimination that's happened around building housing and how who has access to what housing. And it can look like the war on drugs. The war on drugs has historically been extremely targeted toward Black and brown bodies, and we know that the war on drugs is a huge contributor to mass incarceration, and it is extreme and continues to be extremely problematic. And those are the types of things that we are starting to address with some of our policies around, especially marijuana use in our state, and making sure that people that are a lot of white people are profiting off selling marijuana, which has been traditionally been punished and jailed for people who are for Black and brown and people of color. And then it also looks like things like addressing our cash bail system, which is inherently inequitable. And as a city council member, I would be looking at all of these types of things and making sure that we are addressing them through a racial equity lens in order to dismantle the mass incarceration that we've already had. And I've protested the youth jail at a Democrats meeting in front of Dow Constantine because we know that those types of policies just don't work and to actually help people. And I think it's absolutely the job of anyone in public leadership to have a role in ending mass incarceration.